Hello there. Welcome to another episode of WOK Talk. I guess the fact about the walk for lost loved ones today is that yesterday I did another 10 kilometers. That's just training walks. It's not added to the official total, but yeah, we're keeping up with our weekly 10 kilometer quota here. I'm not sure what's going to happen in winter time, but we'll get to that one when we come to it, I suppose. I did want to do it every week for a year, but weather doesn't always permit for that, and road conditions will change in wintertime too, so I don't know if I can continue the pallet carry during the winter time, but that's what I'm thinking about now. But I need to do 5 squats here. So let's do that. There to celebrate the fact that I carried the pallet 50 miles in May to raise awareness for suicide prevention. That's my unofficial world record. And we're training to do that again, but with less rest stops. So let's continue celebrating and training and everything. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Cat doesn't help. Yeah. Well, because I always use the shield squats to gauge how healthy I'm doing, or how healthy I am. See, I can't even speak right. I'm out of breath. And 5 squats isn't that many, but it's about 50 pounds, and that's not a lot, but it's enough for exercise. But on a good day, that's easy. It's like no problem, but it was exercise today. That's what I want to talk about, the difference between training and exercise. Training is exercise, but I don't know if all exercise is necessarily training. Training means you're training for something, but I think there's also something about the difference in consistency. I have a lot of exercises that I do on a semi-weekly basis, but I don't do them consistently. And so that's why I consider that just exercises. But the things that I do consistently, which are my standing on my tiptoes for 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. Well, sometimes I'll do more than that. This week I did, or this previous weekend, I guess, because we were starting a new week. I did 4 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday. And then I carried the pallet, and that's my training. So I'm training to carry the pallet farther, and I'm training to just have overall better strength and endurance. And so I think a lot of times in my exercise, I just get to test out how strong I am. And so there's still, like, exercise is still useful. It's just that I'm not consistent enough with it. If I was consistent with it, I would call it part of my training, But the inconsistent exercises are just that. But I'm getting more and more personal bests on the shoulder arm machine. I call it a shoulder chest machine, but I started to realize I'm getting more of a exercise out of my biceps. I'm up to 27, 27 reps on that machine. And I feel like I pushed myself farther than I had before. Like, I'm never feeling all that, like, worn out, but, like, I pushed myself a little farther than I normally do. Because aiming for 25, and I said, screw it, let's try to go to 27, and I did. And so I'm just going to continue using the the upper body working machine. I don't need to get specific. Whatever it is, it lifts your whole body weight, because the platform you're sitting on, like, lifts up when you lift up the arms. I'm still debating whether or not it's actually if you lift your whole body weight, or if it's got like some leverage thing, so I'm only lifting like half my weight. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I didn't think I could lift my own body weight that easily, to be honest. Because I'm right now I'm having trouble doing pull-ups, like on a pull-up bar. But then again, I haven't tried in a while either. There's not really a good spot where I can think of anywhere around town. Oh no, there is a gym over behind the old Canadian Tire, a gym, a park with exercise equipment. And I might be able to try to do some pull-ups there, because I think it's good to practically know how to do pull-ups in case you ever need to, pull your body up. It's hard to do that if you can't do a pull-up. Yeah, yeah. The other thing I would like to do, an exercise I would really like to do consistently is someone recommended I call it La Pincha, which is a fine name. I think it sounds interesting. Basically, you crush as hard as you can, and then the reverse exercise you do afterwards is you pull as hard as you can, but you make sure your hands are like stuck together real good, and you pull as hard as you can, and you do crushing for 30 seconds or a minute, and then you do the pulling for the same amount of time. Like, if you crush for a minute, you pull for a minute. And the idea is that you're just exerting as much force as you absolutely can. Don't hurt yourself, but it should be a fairly difficult exercise, at least the way I do it. I don't careful. Like, your hands could potentially fly apart if you lose grip. I've never had that problem, but I feel like that is a possibility that could happen. But I think it's a fairly safe exercise for everybody to do. But you can do it fairly intensely, and you can increase the intensity or decrease the intensity depending on how you're feeling that day. But I try to go full intensity and just crush as hard as I possibly can, and I'm trying to just increase my maximum pulling and pushing force. Yeah, that's something I would like to do for a minute every day. I was trying to do it for 30 seconds every day, and I wasn't keeping up with that, and so I started trying for a minute. And it's so much it's such a huge leap in difficulty from 30 seconds to a minute. It's ridiculous. I'm so freaking tired by the time I get to a minute. And a minute doesn't seem like that long of a time, but when you're exerting like maximum force or pulling with maximum force, it's like a minute's a long time. Like, fuck. But that's just it. I need to increase my endurance. I want to increase my, I can't remember what they call it. It's like static strength, when your muscles are locked and they're not moving. Like, I love active strength where your muscles are moving, but I also love static strength where you're trying to hold still and lock a pallet against the wind. You just kind of got to stand your ground against the forces of nature. That's why I like carrying the pallet. It's such a great exercise. It exercises the whole body. from the tips of my fingers down the bottoms of my toes to my neck to my shoulders, everything gets exercise. Yeah, gets exercises, gets exercise, gets 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 the burn. I was feeling pretty warm carrying the pallet yesterday. I don't know what to do. I don't know. This is something a little more personal, but don't know what to do when a family member is going through a lot of physical pain. How do you tell them it's worth going through it? Like I want to just tell them that life is beautiful, but life is not beautiful for them right now. I don't know. Even when life hurts, survival is still a massive victory. And it's even a more noble victory because you go through a greater tribulation. Whoever you are watching this, I hope you keep fighting. I hope you keep living and remembering that every day is a victory. You don't even have to remember that. Just keep on living. Survive. If you're not having a good time, you might reach good futures. But even if you go through 1,000 terrible days, it's 1,000 victories against the harshness of the universe. And you are noble in your struggles. I am Captain Canada. I am Joseph Arthur Roszell, and I believe in you. Thank you for watching. I want to wish you all luck in the world. I love you, and I want you to remember that suicide is never the answer. Peace out for now.